Welcome back to the Vancouver Canadians pregame show powered by North Beach Agency. Tyler Zickel with you, and we are joined by a very special guest. It's the skipper, Donnie Murphy. D-Murph, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
So good. Happy Saturday. Hillsboro, Oregon, our home away from home. Before we talk details, tell us a little bit about your overall thoughts and experiences from this first week here in Oregon.
Oh man, it was weird. It was weird at first. It was like weird to play baseball again. But I think everybody's settled in now. I think you're starting to see us play a little bit better baseball. Obviously, the record's showing now. I think everybody's starting to feel comfortable, and I think the game slowed down a lot this past week. So it's good to see the guys having fun again.
What's it been like establishing a routine for these guys? Of course, you missed the season in 2020. Guys are doing their own thing at their own pace. And now you've got to get everybody pulling on the same side of the rope, but also jump through all the hoops of the COVID protocol. So what has been the focus from you and the rest of your staff to get these guys on a routine?
I mean, just trying to create a normal vibe, and just get back to normalcy. I think that was our goal. There's some things we got to jump around when it comes to scheduling, but I think we've gotten a good routine here at home. I think with the space, we have the backfields, we have the cages, we have early on work, early field stuff we could do. I think we established what works and what doesn't, and I think the guys are more comfortable knowing what to expect now. And it's allowed us to create work early on to get the maximize development time with these guys one-on-one, starting to do some early stuff with the infielders. Ryan Wright's been killing it in the cage with the hitters. So just creating some normalcy, and I think we're starting to see that more.
3-3 in Pasco taking on Tri-City. Then you come home, you lose a tough extra innings game against Spokane in the home away from home opener. But now it's officially a win streak. 3 consecutive games. Troy Miller and a quartet of arms was terrific in that 2-0 shutout. And then last night, so great to see Nick Frazee put up a season-high 6 innings for his first start of the year. What's the thought process behind using Nick Frazee out of the bullpen or in the rotation?
Early on, it was a piggyback system that we needed to do. And he fit the mold the best out of those guys, because a couple of these guys, not knowing what to expect early on, pitch counts weren't up, didn't know what to expect. We knew that he was a guy that was going to come in and give us 3 to 4 easily. Now slotting him in, we have all the confidence in the world that he can just step in with no hiccups. And obviously he showed that last night. But it was good. I mean, he had some nasty sink and run on his ball yesterday. Had some good stuff on his slider, kept him off balance. That was nice to see. And then seeing CJ rebound from his first start of the year, that obviously didn't go the way he wanted to, but just to see him go out there with confidence again, attack hitters, definitely saw a different pitcher than CJ his last start.
And you read my mind. That was the next place I wanted to go. CJ Van Eyck, he was terrific, and certainly a guy that is circled on the roster as somebody to watch all season long. What was the conversation with CJ, whether it was you or whether it was the pitching coach, Phil Kandari, having those conversations in between that certainly forgettable pro debut out in Pasco to turn it around and basically make a 180-degree change and had dominant stuff? Fastball was located. He threw that breaking ball all over the count. It was really great to see.
I haven't talked with Phil much. It seems like a lot of it was just focus and confidence. I think he was a little, it was just, hey, this is his first start. There's so much adrenaline and anxiety running through your first pro start. When it doesn't go your way, you start to question things. But obviously I think he had a good week after that, focused really well on his bullpen, throwing program, was able to go back in, throw his pitches with confidence again. I think it was a little bit of overthinking of if this stuff wasn't good enough that first time, because obviously when you got guys that are going 7 pitch at bats against you, you start to question if your stuff's good enough, because obviously they're long at bats. But I think yesterday, or 2 days ago, I think he trusted his stuff, knew that his stuff was good, and just went after hitters and had an awesome performance.
We're speaking with the skipper, Donnie Murphy, here on the North Beach Agency Vancouver Canadians pregame show. Now, D-Murph, I got to know, tonight's starter, Adam Klaufenstein, he has been excellent in shorter starts through his first 2 turns in the rotation. Is he going to have a longer leash tonight, and what can we expect from Klauf?
Yeah, I mean, his pitch count's going up every start, and I think with him, I think the key is like not trying to be somebody different when he gets the 2 strikes. This is something we've talked to him about. He trusts his stuff before 2 strikes, and sometimes tries to get out of character a little bit and tries to do too much. He has good stuff. I mean, he doesn't need to do that. He knows that. So I think that's what's been successful with him. I think going into his 3rd start now, I think that's going to let him, attack hitters early on and trust his stuff once he gets to 2 strikes. Because with his pitches, with his sliders, fastball, with the good fastball he has and all that, I mean, he doesn't need to be a different pitcher, and I think he knows that. And it take him a couple starts to do that, but I mean, he still put up numbers. But we're expecting 5 out of him tonight, at best, maybe 6 if he trusts his stuff, especially early in the count. But he has the stuff to be a big leaguer. I think he just needs to trust it once he gets to 2 strike a bit more, and I think he understands that.
And certainly a lot of poise for a guy who is just 20 years old. So looking forward to a great start from Adam Klaufenstein tonight. We've talked a lot of pitching. I want to get your thoughts on your offense because, of course, last night, season high 8 runs looked really good and an opportunity for Tanner Kerber to show some stuff in the number 9 spot. Skip, you had him leading off all season long. You put him in the 9 hole, and I said it on the broadcast last night after the Grand Slam. You look like a wizard putting that guy in that 9 spot. He comes up for the first time this year with the bases loaded for him, runners in scoring position, in fact, and he did what he did.
Sometimes these players make you look great, don't they? But no, the reason why we moved him down yesterday was kind of, he's been playing every day, and in the last couple of games, he looked like he was thinking a little too much up there. So I want to take a little bit of pressure off him from the top spot and let him free him up a little bit and get us a second leadoff hitter at the bottom. And he ended up being the biggest producer last night, which was awesome because, sometimes when you got the guys in front of you that, are struggling a little bit, at least you got that guy at the bottom of the order that was able to pick us up last night and put the game out of reach. So no, he's been great. I mean, if you were going to ask me who I thought was going to lead the team in homers this early in the year, Kerber probably wasn't the first name to pop in my head, but hey, he's putting the work and he's barreling some balls up right now and he's getting good results from it.
Seems like up and down the order, 1 through 9, guys are finding ways to get on base. There are a number of players on your roster who have reached base in every game they've played in. Spencer Horwitz and Phil Clark come to mind up top. Right. What has been the approach? What has been the messaging from you and hitting coach Ryan Wright and the overall vibe amongst the offense? It seems like around the cage every day, everybody's loose, everyone's enjoying themselves. And obviously it's early, but it's a great opportunity to establish that precedent, it seems like.
We're due for one of those high scoring games. I think it's just all the work you put in and the focus that you do in the cage and BP, just really emphasizing mindsets and being selective. It's easy to get in a cage routine and BP where you just go out there and swing, but our guys have been pretty good where if it's not a good pitch to drive a BP and we're working on something, they're not swinging at it. And so once you practice that and preach that, so basically every day, it's going to carry over into the games. I think we got in a little bit of a rut at times where we're being a little too selective in games, and I think that's when we didn't take advantage of certain situations with runners in scoring position. But I think the guys now are starting to be a little bit more aggressive, and I think they're being a little bit selfish in those situations where like, I want that guy, I want that RBI, which is you want every hitter to do that every time a guy's in second and third, And so I think we're starting to take on that mentality. Ryan's doing a great job talking to these guys, setting them up with a good approach and plan right before the game, get them in that compete mindset, and we're starting to see some results now.
Just a couple more things before we let you go, because you got to get out for batting practice on this glorious Saturday here in Hillsboro. But the boys have been very aggressive on the base pass, and that's something you told me before the season started. This was a team that was going to err on the side of aggression all over the bases, and it seems like that has been the case in the early goings. Yeah. Is it a standing green light? Are you putting on the signs over there in the third base coach's box? What is, without giving too much away, of course, the strategy when men are on base for the C's?
I've always had the aggressive mindset. I want you to take advantage. Like if learn the counts when to run, learn when they're going to throw a breaking ball, learn. But like I think it all starts with just wanting to go, wanting to take that bag, wanting to take that extra base. It's easier to dial back when you're going on the aggressive side than to be a little bit passive and try to be aggressive. I wanted to from the first day on just be like, hey, we're gonna go. Trust what you see, trust what you believe is going to be thrown. If Danny Canellas gives you a time that you feel like you can go on, trust it. But there's a little bit of combo of when I want them to go to, trying to teach them or get them to see like when I do get a still sign and when it normally is, and really pick up on those game situations of what's happening when a pitcher's attacking a hitter. And so I think we're just, I rather them err on the side of caution right now. I mean, not on the side of caution, but aggressiveness right now, just because, it's just so much easier to learn the game when you have an aggressive mindset on the bases instead of just being overly cautious of when you should and shouldn't do things out there.
Number of guys on the league leaderboard in stolen bases with that very mindset working quite well. Now, before we let you go, Skip, want to ask you about the series mindset. Of course, today is the 5th of a 6-game series with Spokane. Every series is 6 games on and Monday off. So do you approach it a little differently than you would, say, a 3-gamer and a 4-gamer, where now if you win tonight, you win the series? And of course, the goal for any baseball team is to win each series, but 6 games feels like there could be a lot of series splits against the same team in a 6-game stretch.
I mean, most of the time you're sick of playing a team after 4, but now we're playing 6. But no, it doesn't change. All we're trying to do as a team is to build off the day before and get better every day. That's our goal. It's like, what could we, even though we won 3 in a row now, it's like, what could we have done better than the day before? And that's our mindset going into the next day. We're not perfect. No one's ever perfect every day. It's like, okay, so the things that we weren't perfect at the day before, what can we do to get better and make it where we don't make as many mistakes? But that's what we go to every day. We have those talks. We talk to the players about, like, especially base run. Base run is one of the things we talk about a lot. And it's just like, there's a bunch of learning opportunities that happen every day. And it's just like, what could we have done different, and what are we going to do to take advantage of it the next day? And that's the mindset we're going with every day.
Fantastic. Donnie Murphy, C's manager. We'll leave it at that. A game tonight, 7:05 p.m. coming up in just a moment. But Skip, thank you very much for the time, as your boys look for a 7th win of the year tonight. Thank you very much, Donnie.
All right, thanks, Dick.
We'll be back with more North Beach Agency Vancouver Canadians pregame show after this on Sportsnet 650.